So I'm 24, and I'd argue that the amount of mistakes I've made in my life significantly outweighs the things I've done wrong, which is why I make so many videos about my mistakes. Partially, it's because if you guys know who Charlie Munger is, he talks about a framework called inversion thinking, which is the solution to everything is to avoid the stupidity in that thing. I talk about it often because I love it. For example, this is a great example of inversion. If you have a partner and your main goal is to strengthen the relationship, the list goes on and on. You can do a plethora of different things. You can go on dates, you can compliment them, you can hug them, you can kiss them, you can remind them how amazing they are, you can write them poems, you can sing to them. It never ends. Which gets overwhelming because now you're like, well, do I do all these things or what am I supposed to do? If you can invert that and just say, okay, I want to strengthen my relationship. So how can I just destroy it? And you build a list of things that would destroy the relationship. You'll notice that it's not a plethora of different things. It's usually like 10 things. And the smaller the list, the more impactful those things are. So we'll take this example. If I wanted to destroy my relationship with somebody, I'd probably not be faithful. I'd probably have desires I can't control. I would probably not communicate. I'd I'd try to step away emotionally. And the more narrow the list, the more potent those things are. So the reason why I share a lot of my mistakes is because I want you to avoid them. I will list them. And if you want to win, just avoid my stupidity. Don't be so fixated on what do you have to do to win? What do I have to do to be a better person, a better man, a better woman? Just avoid my stupidity. And if you just avoid these things, you will find your solution. So, if you guys didn't know, if this is your first time watching my video, at 18, I left in the military. This is just a quick backstory. 18, left to the military. Didn't like the military. I thought I was destined for more. Left the military with dreams and ambitions. Next thing you know, I started working at a commercial gym, scrubbing toilets and delivering food. That was my that was me thinking I was destined for more. Next thing you know, I end up there. Ended up learning how to sell memberships because I guess I had a knack for talking to people. And I had a friend at the time who had a small business. He manufactured nail products. So I gave him a call. I said, hey man, I got an idea. I said, I know how to sell. I said, let's sit down and have a talk. Anyways, we get together and me and him kind of rock together in that business. I was not an owner by any way, shape, or form. If anything, I was employed, but me and him were very connected, meaning I had access to information in regards to the business that no one else had access to, despite me being an employee. So the business did pretty good, not because of me, but because of him. And I just did my part, which is sell. So I guess I developed a skill for selling. I lost a lot of money, ended up being broke. Business did good, parted me a piece, and with that piece, I somehow managed to just stay afloat every day. And I make videos as my way of documenting my journey, mainly for myself, because when I'm 40 years old, I want to look back on these moments where they were so hard and I had no idea how I was going to get past it. As a reminder that if I thought this moment was hard and I got past it, any moment that's going to be hard in the unforeseeable future, I will get past it. I just need to let time play the course. So that's really why I make these videos. It's for me to document it, to have some type of nostalgic moments. If I ever do visit my YouTube, I'm like, wow. And the fact that it helps you guys is the cherry on top. So that's a quick backstory, but I get it. No one gives a damn. And I tend to agree with you. So these are some of the biggest mistakes in my 20s. And at the end, I'll kind of tell you the things that really actually made a difference in my life. So we'll start with number one, which is pouring into people that would not pour into me. I am not against pouring into people. I'm not against helping people. But when you decide to pour into somebody, that means you are going to sacrifice yourself for their sake, which is beautiful, right? Because you're giving, but there's a season for it. Like if you have an abundance of water and it's overflowing and it just so happens to pour into them, good. But for me, I was pouring when I was scarce on water and I was just hoping that something else would fill my cup, knowing that the person I was pouring into would not do the same for me. in any way. Like zero chance. Zero. And it was devastating because I kept living every day with this eerie, taunting thought that this person would never. And as time did her thing, I came to realize that that thought, that notion, that idea was true. And I had known it all along. And I regret it not because I'm selfish, but because I sacrificed a decent amount of time in those moments for someone. Time that I can't get back. Now I learned a valuable lesson. I got to experience beautiful things, which is why I'm not so big on regrets. And oh my gosh, I look back on my past full of regret and woe is me. I'm not really that type of person. I've learned a lot. But the fact was, I poured into someone that didn't really care about me. And that hurt. When you pour into someone that cares about you, it feels rewarding. When you pour into someone that doesn't care about you, isn't even grateful, it feels empty. That's the first one. The second one is not knowing the season that I was in, which caused me to get distracted. We have seasons in life, just how nature has her seasons. We have summer, spring, fall, and winter. We have personal seasons where there are moments of growth, new beginnings, hard work, time to hustle, scarcity. I was not aware of the seasons that I was in. So I would think that I am in a season of growth when really it was a season of scarcity and I needed to wake up and realize I cannot be taking risks right now. I have to hold on to what I have. It's the winter. There were seasons where it's new beginnings. It's time to amplify, up the volume. But I thought I was in a winter, so I was holding it near when I was supposed to be risky and make the bets and go. What happened was me, one, not knowing what season I was in affected business. Two, I easily got distracted. Women would come into my life. I'm like, oh, this is a season for me to fall in love, meet a partner. Just to turn out that they were distractions all along because I was so focused on feeling. I wasn't using my head. I wasn't logical enough to realize, hey, man, this is a season where you have to build. If this person is in your life, you are not supposed to sacrifice you for this person yet. You will, but not yet. They are supposed to be a bonus. They're not supposed to pull away. And so I had no idea of the season that I was in. And I would just, accompanying with number one, pour myself into people without knowing that I had to pour into myself in that season. Not for a lifetime, but in that season. The one thing that helped me get through that was, I hope you can try to imagine this. We have a cup right here. Actually, I'll use a real cup. And I'm going to use this as me pouring. This is someone that needed me to pour, so I would pour. And this had little to no water. But I believe that there was a hole right here at the bottom of my cup that was being poured into by some divine energy. We call that God, right? We call that energy God always looking out for us. We call that belief, and we go with this notion that there's something out here that's protecting us, that's fueling us, that will look out for us. And that was the thing that actually gave me hope in some of the most darkest moments of my life. Was the fact that I was being looked after. That no matter what happened, everything is happening according to plan. I just have to keep waking up and walking. Like that's my only job. My job isn't to try to solve anything. My job isn't to try to figure out why it's happening. My job is simply to endure, learn the lesson, move forward. I was so I was so obsessed with trying to understand, why is this happening? How can I prevent this from happening? How can I connect the dots moving forward? And the thing is, the unforeseeable future is way too vast. It's so complex and so complicated that we just cannot connect the dots moving forward. It's too difficult. We will misalign. We will change and pivot in the wrong direction. That's why we can only connect the dots in reverse. We can look back on our life. We can look back on moments with confirmation, with clear, indoctrinated proof, evidence, facts. And that's how we can connect the dots. Because it's true. The future is not true. It's spontaneous. It can be this, highs and lows. It can be tough. It can be a lot of triumph. It can be victory. It can be a lot of hills, peaks and valleys, twists and turns. I had the bad habit of trying to connect the dots moving forward so I can beat life for some reason. Like, oh, I got you. I know what you're planning for me. Next thing you know, life would slap me, make me remember that I am just a speck on this vast planet and remind me that I just have to play my part. So understanding the season is something that I really wish I would have done. Knowing that in this season I'm supposed to pour into myself. And also it helps because there are seasons where you're not supposed to be so self-centered, not so selfish. Perhaps life grants you an individual that you're supposed to pour into. That's how life works. It's not always about us, it's about what we can do for others, right? Sometimes life will use us for the benefit of others. Sometimes life will grant us beautiful things because it's a reward. I can't call it. Number three is prioritizing women over my growth. And this is coming from a man who had a problem with lust his entire life, going to the club every weekend, drinking, sleeping around, bringing ladies back to the house, jumping back and back, and just lust. I'm speaking more about my intimate relationships at this point, not necessarily the lust aspect. Also, that's very bad because I remember I'd say from 18 to about 22, I was going out. I just wanted to get the attention of ladies and I wanted to, do intimate things with them and I wanted them and going after lust. Lust was my vice. I enjoyed it. Ladies were my vice. I'm speaking more about intimate relationships because there were times where I would enter a very intimate relationship and we'd get together and I made them a priority, which actually sucked the life out of me. Not because I had to be selfish, but because I should have realized that they are not something I need to pour into right now. Like they are okay, but it's this masculine urge and it's this insecurity I have of never being enough and feeling like no one will accept me unless I'm useful that made me want to pour into women that I've been with intimately. And in doing so, I lost a sense of myself because I'm in my head, the negative self-talk and the negative critic goes, hey, you will be nothing unless you give X, Y, and Z to these ladies. But if I were to scrap that looking back, I would realize that those ladies would have been with me no matter what. No matter if I gave them anything or not. Because it's me. But my obsession with prioritizing them actually caused me to degrade, to get worse. And as I got worse, I got angry because I wasn't providing. As I got angry that I wasn't providing, it became an anger towards myself and I couldn't channel that anger. And so I pushed it out on them. And so they got hurt because I couldn't prioritize myself. Had I prioritized myself, I would have grown. I would have been better financially. I would have been better spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. And I would feel rewarding. I would feel like I feel good. I'm making progress. And this happy feeling, I would be able to extend to them instead of misery. 9 times out of 10, the only reason why I'm not going to say the only reason why, but for me, a lot of my relationships died because my inner emotions could not be handled, navigated, understood. I could not return back to baseline. I couldn't organize them. And so if it was anger, it was an inner anger that I did not know how to channel. And so the immediate channel is put it on my partner. She can take it. And I would push anger. If it was sadness, I wouldn't deal with the sadness. I'd say, here's a direct channel. I would push sadness on my partner. And young men, let me tell you something. Ladies enjoy us being vulnerable, but I guarantee you that their psychology just cannot handle a lot of it. All they really want is to know that you have the ability, but they don't necessarily want to see it all the time because they are already emotional. Ladies, you are vast, you are chaotic, you are beyond what we can imagine, you are perfect. So when we can replicate that, it's almost discerning. It's not discerning, it's concerning. When a man copies that chaoticness with no structure, no groundedness, no pillars, no foundations that can uphold this chaos that you are, if a man cannot be that container, it's a little concerning. Young men, I encourage you not to be numb, not to hold yourself back from expressing yourself to your partner, but understand that you must do it with a limit. They appreciate it if you have a limit on it. Because the truth is, gentlemen, we feel pain. Just show your partner that you're in pain, but that you are still the structure that she depends on. That allows her to trust your masculine, to guide, to lead, to be strong enough. But if you show a moment where this pillar may be crumbling, it's shaky, she begins to get worried. Especially if it's a woman that cannot stand tall. A woman that is not strong enough to carry both of you. She may be strong enough to carry herself, but not both of you. And it's not like you should demand that of a woman. It's your job, it's our job as men to stand tall, to be strong enough for us and for her and for the family. So when I say that prioritizing women over my growth is a really big mistake, it's because I should have poured more into myself. If I poured more into myself, if I had focused on myself just in that season, I would have been a better man and I could have extended something beautiful to them instead of this anger and this agony and this misery. The next one is not feeling like I'm ever enough. That's a big mistake in my life. And hey, we can if I had something to blame, it'd be a childhood where I was made to feel like I was not good enough. That's all I can blame it on. I have no other reason to tell you why I feel like I'm never good enough. I see that people out here do it better. I'm not doing it as good as them. We're all human, so I feel like I'm lacking something. I could be doing more. I just feel like I'm lacking something, and that makes me feel like as a man I'm not capable, I'm not worthy, and it destroyed me. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror sometimes unless I did something, unless I was progressing, unless I was doing something that would actually impact my life and change my life. It felt terrible. I hated it. I felt so unworthy. I didn't feel like I deserved anything. I didn't feel like I deserved anyone to be proud of me. I'm like, proud of what? I'm nothing. And the reason why it's a big mistake, and I kind of wish I changed that earlier, is because it created an overwhelming insecurity that just haunted me. Now, it was a very potent feel, right? Just like anger, when you're angry, you can do a lot of work, you can drive, you have drive, you can work out. This insecurity was a potent feel for me, which helped me keep going. It was the fear of never being enough that actually propelled me. But when you hold on to it long enough, it becomes poison. So it was great at first. It was this tonic. But then I held on to it too long. It became a poison and it destroyed me inside. And my soul was ripped from me. And I extended that to everyone around me, which was very tough. So if I could go back, I'd have a little bit more confidence in myself. And even if I could name a list of things that I was not able to do or have not done, I would try to counter that with the list of things that I have done. Instead of looking forward to see what's missing, I'd look back to see what is, how far I came as a man, the development that I've had over the years, the man that I transitioned into, as opposed to the young boy that I once was. That would have been the thing that would have helped me. The next one is being afraid to love or feel love. I've never felt love in my life. I don't think I know what that emotion is, besides from my mother. So I see characteristics of what love is, but that's a motherly love. That's different. I'm talking about human to human outside of a mother giving her son love. I've never gave love to anyone, and I've been scared to give love, be in love, and just be loved at all by another human. Mainly because I really got lost in this framework of to love is to hurt. It takes courage to love because when you are courageous enough to love, what you are doing is you are purposely putting yourself in the inevitable outcome that that thing that you love will be stripped from you. Either a woman will betray you, which I don't think is the case for a lot of women. I think women are actually very loyal. Not girls, not like the modern day 20-year-old Instagram girls. I'm talking more like a lady, an actual mature lady, feminine woman. So it was the idea of betrayal. It was the idea that if I love you on a long enough time horizon, you will be stripped from me because you cannot escape death. And if I am still on this earth while you die, I would feel hurt. Now, there's a lot of beautiful moments when you're in love, right? That I've never got to experience because I chose to never allow myself to enter that phase. And the reason why it's a mistake to me is because I turned cold. I turned numb. I did not know how to love, and so I would treat people very coldly. I would just be in my own little bubble, which is fine, but sometimes you can't exist in your own little bubble because if you exist in there alone, then it's only about you. And when you live a life that's only about you, you limit the amount of things you can do, the experiences you can have, the people you can touch. So being afraid of love or feel love was big. The thing that helped me change that was I rolled the dice. I said, okay, what if I feel pain? What if I feel the greatest amount of joy ever? What if I feel weak? What if this gives me strength? So I try to look at the what if, but on the positive spectrum instead of on the negative spectrum, because there's a lot on the negative spectrum. What if I get hurt? What if she betrays me? What if I pour myself out and she doesn't understand me? What if I get reprimanded for expressing myself? What if I show weakness and she doesn't respect me? And the list goes on. But I just said, well, what if everything works out perfectly? What if we fall in love and have children and create a family? What if I become strong because now I need to take care of someone that I love? What if I develop and unlock an inner strength that actually helps me transcend? So that's the one thing that I really wish I would have changed earlier. Next one is having too many friends at the wrong time. When you have too many friends at the wrong time, especially if they're not the people that you want to be like in any way, shape, or form, is very destructive to you because you are a sum of, I'd say, the five people that you spend the most time around. So I am the sum, my philosophy, my way of carrying myself, I am the sum of the five people that I consume the most content from, which is Alex Ramosi, Jordan B. Peterson, Carl Jung, I'd say Tony Robbins, and Robert Greene. So those are the five people that I consume the most amount of content from, and so I become a sum of those five people, and partially some men in my life that I've admired and I picked up some traits. There was a point where I had a little bit too many friends, and I knew that I didn't want to be like any of them. So they were distracting me. They would ridicule me, reprimand me for being different. Anytime I tried to do something, they would throw jokes at me. And it's just because I was different. So not only was it having friends at the wrong time, it's having the wrong friends. There's a moment where you just gotta be alone. In moments of solitude, you organize your mind, you grow, you identify parts of yourself that's very hurt and traumatized. You don't, first of all, when you're alone, you don't have the opportunity to hurt anyone. You have to settle this mess all alone, which is a good thing, by the way. These internal problems are problems that you should not place on anyone else. You need to resolve them before you get with a partner, get with anyone. I had moments where I needed to be alone, and friends were not something that I needed to have because they would start conversations I didn't want to have. I was too focused on certain things. They would distract me. They would always ask, why is he so angry? Why is he so this? And I felt judged. And so there was a moment where I should have been alone. I didn't need friends. And there's moments where I should have put myself out in the world and spoke to people, but instead I chose alone. Solitude. I isolated myself. So you need to understand the difference between the two. The next one is comparing myself to other people's journey. And I still do this. I would look at someone like Elon Musk, and I'm like, why am I not there? It's so annoying because when we look at someone and see what they have, we have no idea what comes with it. It's like me saying, I want what Elon Musk has without having to go through what Elon Musk has gone through. Like, that's very foolish of us, right? It's like you see a professional fighter and you're like, I want to fight like that, but you don't know how many times he got hit in the head. We don't want to get hit in the head. We just want to be the one dealing the punch. I compared myself to so many people's journey because I felt like I was behind. I felt like I was slow. I felt like I could have done more. I felt like at that point in my life, something's missing and I need to reach a certain target, a certain goal by X amount of years. The downside and the drawback of that was I could not be aware of my own progression. I didn't even think I was progressing. I didn't think I was doing anything relatively close to progressing because I was so far. The gap between where I was and where they were was so far. And I said, dude, I have to catch up. So I would sprint in moments where I just had to just keep a steady pace. I would keep a steady pace in moments where I should have sprinted. And then I got blown out and I got exhausted. What I did was I still keep this framework, but I shifted. So when I see someone ahead of me, I simply acknowledge that I can. It's the thing that's behind me that pushes me now. Instead of creating this gap of comparison where I feel down, I'm upset at myself, I've transitioned it and I've kind of shifted it to I can be like that. Because if that person could, I can too. But I've come a long way. But I see that I still have a long way to go. And so that helps me play the game very long. I extend this time horizon. And so I say, well, it took them 7 years. I'm 1 year in. Imagine where I'll be in 7 years because they didn't have them. I'm learning from them. So imagine how far I'll be if I keep this up for 7 years, right? That's the thing that really helps me. I don't think a lot of people realize how lucky we are. Look at some of the greatest Jeff Bezos did not have Jeff Bezos. Elon Musk didn't have Elon Musk. Some of these entrepreneurs didn't have them. We have them. We have access to their mind, their knowledge, their content. We get to absorb it, their skills, their strategies for us to grow. And one day we'll pass that on to the next generation. I believe that's our job. So we have it so good. Don't compare yourself to other people's journey because they've been doing it longer. It's almost like you starting a sport and being upset that you aren't in the league. It's almost like you're just picking up a basketball, learning how to dribble, and you're upset that you're not as good as Kobe Bryant. Like he's dribbled the ball 10 million more times than you. And plus he's done it for 20 years. This is day one. So when you compare yourself to other people's journey, it creates this unrealistic expectation of where you should be as opposed to where you are. You create this diluted image of in X amount of time, I should be here. Like, no, you shouldn't. You shouldn't at all. So to reset that, just use it as a framework of I have ways to go. But be able to look back, not turn back, but just glance back at how far you've come. And that allows you to get this kind of reward, this positive reinforcement that you've come a long way. But then you look forward to acknowledge that you still have to keep going. So it's reward, positive reinforcement with definite aim, focus, tunnel vision, and so you go. You have this driving force behind you, which is the positive reinforcement, and you have a desire and ambition because you're locked onto a target and you're shooting. Next one. Not being hard enough on myself was something that I wish I would have done at 18. I was never hard on myself because I had never had someone to be hard on me. And it was kind of hard, right? It's like we don't want to be tough on ourselves, man. We're freaking human. Like it hurts. I was raised by a single mother. My mother and my parents, they were together. My mother and my father were together, but the marriage wasn't that great, and they divorced. And I just saw some stuff as a kid, and I was raised by a single mother that wasn't really pushing me. I mean, she's a fragile woman, and I didn't need her to push me. I needed a man to push me. I needed a man to coach me. I needed a man to say, "Get up." My mother was soft and fragile, strong because she managed to keep me alive and survived and fed me, but I needed a masculine role model to push me. So because I didn't have that, I took it pretty easy on myself throughout my entire teenage years. And even when I left to the military, I didn't know how to be tough on myself because it was uncomfortable. If I would look in the mirror and say, "You're worthless," I would be like, damn, this hurts. I don't want to talk to myself like this. I wish I would have learned how to be a coach to myself, not a critic. I wish I would have been a little bit harder on myself because there were seasons where I could have gone farther. I could have gave it 150% without burning out. But instead I gave it 50% because I wasn't so tough on myself. And it was because I was lacking a masculine dominance within me. I had to kind of build that throughout the course of my life because I had no attachment to it. I had no direct link to this masculine energy that allows us men to be grounded, stable, return to baseline, and uphold a foundation and become the pillars. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know how to do that. There's still a little boy in here that needs guidance, and I get guidance from the internet. I listen to as many people as I can. I pick and choose what I like because I've never really had a constant masculine role model to teach me right from wrong, tell me where to go, tell me where not to go. And I'm not blaming my circumstance, but that is partially the reason why I've always had this imbalance. I'd argue that I'm more feminine than masculine. I feel heavily. I'm very emotional. I talk, I express my emotions, it's very chaotic. I can be grounded and strong, but I tend to lean more on this side. So even to this day, at 24 years old, I've been trying to pull away from this feminine, not disconnect with it, but enter this masculine where I am stronger, I am more courageous, I am more capable. So it's something I'm still dealing with and I'm still struggling with. But if I was able to be a little bit harder on myself in the early stages, I believe I could have gone far. Right? Next one is going for the instant fix instead of being able to play it long. This applies to almost anything, be it my emotions, be it business, be it growth, personal development, I don't care. When I say go for the instant fix, it means we want As humans, we enjoy seeing progress. Progress confirms that we're growing. Growing is part of our natural way of behaving. It is in our genetic makeup, our genome to grow, to evolve, to adapt to environments, to become better. If you live in the snow, let's say you're from sunny California and you move to Antarctica, within a few months you will be numb to the snow. It will be normal because you've adapted. That is growth. That's technically evolution. So I've always been the type of dude that wanted the instant fix. I've always been the dude that's like, okay, I need to see progression now, so let me do something. Let me do something that's going to give me the instant gratification now instead of being able to swallow the glass for a long enough time horizon so that I can see the massive improvement later on. So here's a great example. When I train in weight training or just in bodybuilding, there's this thing called, I believe it's called, it's right off the tip of my head. When you increase the weight slowly, progressive overload. There we go. You progressively overload your muscles by, let's say, you lift 100 pounds one day. The next day, you'll lift 101 pounds, 102 pounds. And on a long enough time horizon, within 3 months, you're lifting 150 pounds, 190 pounds, 200, double, 3x. That's progressive overloading. And I don't do that. I kind of just jump to the instant fix where it's like, okay, one day I lift 100 pounds, next day I'm going to lift 120, next day 130. I just jump because I need to see progress. Here's the good, here's the bad. The good is you just jump, you go. The bad is you need it now. If I was able to, for example, in my training, progressively overload and increase the weight incrementally, I'm pretty sure I'd be a lot stronger. I'd be a lot more resilient. I'd be lifting heavier weight and I would look a lot better. I would look different. I'd be bigger. But I have this, not only me, but I think a lot of humans have this desire to create this need for an instant gratification. Like we want it now. It's like we can't wait. Like if you're hungry and I said, okay, you can eat burgers right now, or you can wait 5 hours and you can choose anything you want. You're like, screw it, I'll eat the burger. Even though you can choose whatever you want in 5 hours. If I was able to play the game long, meaning extending the time horizon to maybe a couple years, I would have moved differently, thought differently, behaved differently. I wouldn't be so impulsive, and that would allow me to see the playing field clearer. So, for example, let's say you're the coach, you're watching football, you're the coach, your team against the other team, and you're so focused on every single play. You will make decisions based on every single play. But if you can zoom out and you're like, no, I'm focused on the long run. We got 4 quarters. And you get to see the players. You're like, okay, who's getting tired? And it's only the first quarter. You can identify the people getting tired. If it's the left side, you're gonna attack the left side. If it's the right side, you'll attack the right side, right? And you get to play long because you're like, I'm focused on winning, surviving 4 quarters, and being a winner at the end. I don't care to win play by play. I need to win at the end. That allows you to step back. You swallow the glass and you plan accordingly. It helps you be more strategic. Had I been the type of person that extended the time horizon, played the long game in everything I did, I would have been more strategic. I would have been less consumed with how I feel in the present moment, but more focused on where I'll be in 5 or 10 years. That's just me. Anyone can be successful on a long enough time horizon, except we want it now. And I get it, right? Like, who wants to be a millionaire at 40 or 50? We want to be a millionaire when we're 20, 30, to enjoy life, to see what we can do before we die of old age and get wrinkly and old. I get it. I also think that way. And sometimes when I'm so consumed with wanting it now, I make impulsive decisions that weren't the best decisions. But every single time I've been able to zoom out and I'm like, okay, where would I like to be? What would I like to be doing? How would I like to do things, behave in 5 or 10 years? That allows me to say, okay, well, I won't necessarily jump at every opportunity. I'd probably stick to this. If I know in 10 years it would be the greatest payoff. Screw the opportunities presented to me. I'm sticking to this because in 5 years, I'll win. So that's a big mistake that I made. That if you want to learn from, simply extend the time horizon, zoom out, play for 5 to 10 years. Don't play for the 3 to 6 months increment. Not even the 1 or 2 year increment. Play 5 to 10, and you'll just see how drastic you move, how differently you move, how more strategic you are, how much easier it is for you to just deal with moments of stress in the current moment because you realize that you're not going to be this stressed in 5 years. It'll pass. It'll be a different stress, and you'll deal with that too. So that was a big one, which leads me to the next one, which is having a weak aim. Here's what I mean by a weak aim. I always thought that it was about the put together plan. I always thought that it was I had to put together the most strategically detailed, orchestrated plan to execute. When really I just needed to locate the target, zoom in on the target, shoot straight. That's it. You if you have definite aim and your vision is doesn't have to be all the way clear, but you can see your target, you don't need to figure out how you're going to shoot the target. You're just going to look straight at the target, press the trigger, boom, and you shoot the target. If you miss, you miss, but most of the time you'll hit because you're looking dead at the target. I got so focused on building and orchestrating some type of plan in order for me to execute, when really I just had to aim at something, make that be my center focus, look one way, aim, shoot. So, for example, let's say I wanted to start selling on Amazon, be it FBM or FBA. Let's say I wanted to do a drop shipping store, drop shipping business, or maybe I want to white label my own brand. Maybe I want to build a brand. I would be so obsessed with just orchestrating the plan, like, okay, step one, boop. When really all I gotta do is go on seller.amazon.com and then create an account and just go. I just have to aim. Whatever I'm aiming at, I'll just figure out. You will figure it out if you take action. You're not gonna, don't be so obsessed with figuring it out, then taking action. When you take action, you start to figure it out. Contrary to popular belief. It's almost like saying you can think your way out of anxiety. You can go on a walk or a run, and it'll help your anxiety, but you can't sit here and think your way out of the anxiety. So similar to how we think we need perfect circumstances and situations, and we need perfect alignment for us to take action, that's not the case. The perfect alignment happens when you can take action despite your conditions, despite your circumstances. Next one is feeling more than thinking. Psychologically, we have two brains. We have a thinking brain and a feeling brain, and we cannot intertwine the two as like oil and water. If you're thinking, purely logical, there's no emotion, it's structured, it's ordered. If you're feeling, it's chaotic. It goes in waves like this, it fluctuates. One day you'll feel this, you want to do this, it's impulsive. I was impulsive a majority of my life. I made the mistake with relationships. I made that mistakes with jumping at opportunities. I was impulsive. I felt more than I thought. For example, business opportunities. I'm like, that's a great opportunity. I would jump because I'm like, I would feel like it's great. But had I just sat down and thought, and I'm like, okay, what's the model? What are the margins? How can it be profitable? How can we scale this? And I was able to just break it down like that. I would notice that a lot of the opportunities I jumped at, I'm like, why did I jump at that? Like, that was terrible. I was just so obsessed with my feelings. Same with intimate relationships. I'd be so obsessed with the feeling that some women would give me. Peace. I'd feel safe. I'd feel at home. I'd be so obsessed with that I wouldn't be thinking, I'm like, wait, there's this wrong about her, this wrong about her, I can make a list of everything wrong about her. Do I really want to accept this for this feeling? And I would make a decision, and sometimes I'd be not too deep in, but I'm like, well, I've made a decision to commit. I'm screwed now. Like, if we split now, we'll both be hurting. I'll be hurting, she'll be hurting. So there's moments where you can literally change your life and change the outcome of your life if you just think faster than you feel. If you make a decision off your emotion and how you feel, you might be screwed. But if you make a decision off logical, structured, ordered thought, put together, processed, analyzed, dissected, you will make a decision that will significantly impact your life or destroy your life. Again, the difference between feeling and thinking will destroy or create and impact your life. I am telling you from experience. There are some moments where I've made impulsive decisions and I can't get up now. It's too late. Like, it's too late. Even now, right? It's too late. Next one is treating people like shit. Hey, I was a bad dude, man. I didn't have a masculine role model. I was fed into the whole red pill mantra. You guys know about that. I didn't know how to be a man. I knew how to be an infant little boy. I'd hang around boys from down south who used to gang bang and just run the streets, and I thought it was cool, and I became that, and I saw how they treated women. I'm like, oh, that's cool, and I would treat women the same way. And I regret it because it's a mistake. You shouldn't walk around being a force for destruction. You have a moral obligation and a duty to uphold to humanity, to your loved ones, to yourself, which is to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly become. Because in doing that, you can give yourself to the world and you can be a force of creation, a force of hope, a beacon of hope, something that amplifies, encourages growth, spreads love, as opposed to being this force of destruction. And you walk around, you destroy everything that you speak to, everything that you touch. And I've been that person that everywhere I walk, anyone I meet, anyone that gets close to me, I destroy. And it's terrible because you're like, dude, I'm a problem. So if I could go back, I'd work on myself to where I can be a force for good, not a force for bad. Next thing is taking everything personally. Every single human is engulfed in their own little bubble. We don't need to take anything personally. When someone says something, it is not an attack on us, it's an attack on themselves that we perceive to be an attack on us. This applies for relationships, friendships. Like, don't take anything personally. People have unresolved issues. They have behaviors because of trauma they've experienced, and it has nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with them. And sometimes they just don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to behave. Sometimes they're not thinking, oh well, like it's not an attack on you. It just is. So the easier it is for you to just accept things and not take it personally, you become level, you become grounded, you don't fluctuate, your emotions don't fluctuate, and you're like, oh, they're just being them. Like, it's okay. Like, it's okay. Like, when a kid throws a tantrum, you don't take it personally like, oh, I'm a terrible human. You're like, dude, it's just a kid throwing a tantrum. It's okay. Being able to take things personally, one, increases your stress tolerance because people are going to do things that you don't necessarily want to do, agree with. You live a different life, so do they, and they're going to do things that kind of step out of line and it's going to piss you off. When you can understand that it's not a personal attack on you, you're like, it kind of relieves you. Because the best way to negate any type of high emotion is just to create understanding, right? If someone does something you don't like, but you understand them, it's almost like it's okay. It creates the it's okay. Without the understanding, it's not okay. It's like, why are you doing this? But when you establish the understanding, it creates the whole I accept you. It's okay. Like, that's you. That's completely understandable. So it'll just help you in the long run. Next thing, being way too quick to react. This falls into not thinking and feeling. Again, when we feel, we're impulsive. I feel a lot. Hey, I'm human. I definitely don't have a problem visiting moments in my life that cause me to feel. I can speak about my feelings very openly. I can discuss topics that traumatize me very openly. I have a pretty heavy heart, and I have traveled the vastness of my heart all alone, so I don't have a problem feeling, but that also means because I've explored this territory, I am more inclined to react based on the feeling, right? So if I could go back and I could adjust this one thing about myself, I would be slower to react, quicker to think. The reason it's so hard for me is because I feel very deeply. Anyone here that feels deeply, you have an emotional intelligence and awareness that not a lot of people have. Sometimes you do overreact. Sometimes you are highly emotional. It's because you have access to something that triggers that. People that are not highly emotional, they're very numb. They don't have a direct link to the vastness of their heart. So if you have a direct link to the vastness of your heart and you feel and you hurt and you like to express yourself because you're a human, I urge you to just slow it down. Not disconnect from that, not disassociate yourself with that, but slow it down. Control it. Tame it. Lower the volume a little bit. And think. Don't be so quick to react. That was a big one. Next one. Not developing a skill sooner. I jumped into the military at 18. I needed money. I needed to do something. So I just joined the military. Let's say at 18, I got a sales job. I think I'd be able to sell, make content on selling, and actually help a lot of you that want to sell a lot better. But instead, I started learning how to sell when I was like 22. So I started young, but if I started sooner, that's a whole 2 or 3 years ahead. Can you imagine if every single day, 365 days a year, every day you woke up and you practiced sales, learned how to sell, spoke to people? How good would you be at negotiating? How good would you be at speaking? What about your charisma, your personality? How would that transform? If I started developing a skill sooner, I would just have so much of an advantage. I'd be so much farther along. But instead, I started, in my opinion, a little too late. But I don't think anything's too late. I think you can do everything wrong for the next 5 years and still be okay. We just want things now because we assume that if we don't have it now, it'll never come. Which is why we're so adamant on now, 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 now. Like, it's gonna come. You just have to give it time. But then we're like, no, I want to do this with my life because we think we're on a time limit. Yes, we are. Humans, we're on a time limit and we have a limited amount of days left in this world. But it's okay. It's okay. Develop a skill sooner. That's something I wish I would have done. But again, don't feel rushed because you have time. And I really enjoy this framework of you have time. Which is funny because the next one is wasting time is a big mistake. So let me clarify. Wasting time means I have time and I am actively choosing to do something that won't help me with this time. Understanding I have time but still working allows me to decrease the amount of stress and weight I put on myself, so it's less of a burden. Understand the difference? If I'm wasting time, it means I'm not using my time properly. If I am using my time properly, I like to acknowledge I have time so I can zoom out and be more strategic and not be so impulsive and not be so needy to want something now, want the car, want the house, want the accolades, want the money now, right? But there's so many moments in my life where I wasted time, where I would just lay in bed, do nothing, smoke, drugs, alcohol, and do nothing with my life. And those are moments I can't take back, and they slowed me down. And just to get back to baseline when you're significantly in a drawdown like that, emotionally, physically, spiritually, it's tough. I remember the first day back to the gym after not training for 3 months and just smoking and drinking. Oh my gosh, my muscles were aching. I remember the first day sober, like I couldn't think straight. My brain was so cloudy. I couldn't even speak. It was so difficult. So just the whole aspect of returning back to baseline after you've been in a drawdown, that's the most difficult part. So I wish I wouldn't have wasted so much time. I wish I would have just used my time in a more intelligent manner. And what I would have done is spend my time doing something that would help me grow. Instead, I spent my time doing things that just pulled me down. Next one is having an obsession with happiness. That's a big mistake I made. I was wondering why I wasn't happy, and it's because I created this obsession with being happy. Since it was so unavailable, I felt like I couldn't do anything. And so every my actions, my ability to take actions, it was predicated on am I happy? And I was so obsessed with being happy because it felt so good. It felt rewarding, right? I mean, happiness feels good, man. Pain, a threat to our nervous system doesn't feel good. We want to be happy, right? We're more ourselves when we're happy. We make better. We think better when we're happy. We're not so stressed. There's not enough. There's not a lot of cortisol. If anything, is oxytocin and dopamine. I was obsessed with being happy, and I didn't take action because of my obsession. If I could go back, I wouldn't. I would tell myself, your goal in life shouldn't be happy. It should be to grow. And that doesn't necessarily mean you'll be happy. Not saying you're not deserving of happiness, but you shouldn't make that your primary goal. If your goal is to grow, that means you can endure moments of drawdown. You can endure moments of very difficult times where you're stressed, where you're anxious, where you just want to pull your hair out, and you'll be okay. I wish I would have shifted that. If my obsession was on growth, I could have taken a lot of stress. But because my obsession was on happiness, the amount of stress I was able to take decreased, almost non existent. Next thing was thinking I could change people. We have a significant impact to those around us, but no one would change unless they want to change. I would pour so much time into somebody or some people in my life that just didn't want to change. They didn't really care to acknowledge the fact that maybe they could be behaving in a better way. They were so adamant on just staying the same. And I didn't want to give up on them because for me at least, it's a projection. I wouldn't want someone giving up on me so easily. So I don't give up on other people because I would hate I can't imagine how it feels if someone gives up on me. I feel so alone. So I try not to give that to anyone else, but I wish I could have identified the people that I could help change because there was a desire, and I wish I could have identified the people that didn't have a desire to change. I wish I could have separated those two because I would try to help everybody. People that didn't want to change, I would spend time pouring energy into them. It led to nothing but a misunderstanding. Next one is getting in relationships before I had become the best version of myself. This is a big one because in moments where I was stressed, where I was in pain, where I wasn't okay financially, where I wasn't okay physically, where I wasn't okay mentally, where my spirit was disconnected, I would get into intimate relationships because I needed a feeling. I enjoyed the idea that there was someone that was going to care for me and hold me, tell me it's okay. Because I had to be that person for myself, and it was pretty lonesome, which goes into the whole impulsive thing, going after a feeling, not thinking. And what happened was because I was so cracked and damaged, and I hadn't healed, and I had not done the work to heal, I gave my unhealed, traumatized, damaged parts to my partner, and they had to bear that weight, that burden, which is very annoying. Very annoying because I understand how that feels to bear the weight of something and someone who isn't healed. And so it's very annoying. Like, please do the work on yourself before you get with somebody else. Be the best version of yourself before you get with somebody else. And I'm still going through that, by the way. Like, I'm not the best version of myself at all. I'm trying every day. But when you jump into a relationship too soon, what happens is if both partners aren't healed, aren't the best version of themselves, they're both giving each other a damaged, cracked up, traumatized, not well put together version of each other, which is why there's so much conflict. So I wish I would just slow down on jumping into relationships. I wish I would have worked on myself to know that, okay, I am grounded right now. I've done the work. I am ready for a partner. Similar to how if you're with a partner, you guys don't want to have kids until you guys both know that, hey, financially are we good? Mentally are we good? Right? Same thing. Treat a relationship the same way. Don't jump into a relationship unless you know you are good. That was the biggest mistake I made. Next one, being numb and cold. Man, I was like the Grinch. I told you guys I was too scared to love, and so the best way for me to avoid pain was to never care about anything. And I got far. I mean, I went fast. I just didn't go far. I was so numb and cold. I didn't care about anyone. I didn't care how I treated anyone. It was just about me, 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 and it worked. I got everything I wanted, but I was missing the one thing I needed. And what I needed was the ability to care about people because that made me feel human. All those years where I was focused on myself, I only cared about myself, I didn't feel human. I felt disconnected. I felt like something was missing. And I also had no problems because I didn't care, right? So nothing bothered me, which was a plus. Once I started caring, everything became an issue because I cared so much because I have a very deep and heavy heart. I started to care a little bit too much. But the thing that I felt was missing was here now. I'm like, oh, this is what was missing. And so I'd urge you guys, don't be so numb and cold. Like, I get it. The world has treated us very poorly. We've been dealt a shit hand and we've gone through pain. Don't lose sight of what matters, which is being a good human. Still be able to feel emotions. Don't be so numb. Don't close yourself off to where it's like, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care, because it's your coping mechanism. No, like, truly feel the pain and grow from grow from that pain. It takes a lot of strength to feel pain, go through pain, and continue to feel emotions. I'm battling that now. Every ounce of me wants to turn this way and go back to that monster that was cold, that was wicked, self-centered, and he just doesn't care. Nothing affects him. But I know that wasn't the best version of me. The best version of me is someone that can feel. The best version of me is someone that does feel. And even though he feels, he makes the best decisions. That's the best version of me. Next one, diversifying too early. Hey, one of the best advices I can give anyone that's a business owner and just someone that's trying to make it in life. So we'll speak in the sense of business. Hey, if you have a business and let's say you have a product that's winning, when you diversify too early, what do you have to do? Now you have to market 10 more products. Now you have to run ads on 10 more products. Now you have to do inventory on 10 more. Don't diversify too early. In personal development, if you are jumping from book to book to book to book, video to video, hey man, no, obtaining a skill. If you want to be a salesperson and you want to do this and you want to do that, hey man, just one skill and just go for like a year and then do it for another year. That's it. Stop diversifying. Early diversification is death. It's like training. Like if you want to build a chest, you don't need incline dumbbell bench press, flat dumbbell bench press, machine chest press, neutral grip, dumbbell press, bench press, incline. You just need a bench press and do it often, and you will build a great chest. And then you diversify only when you know you can take more weight. That's when you diversify. But if you diversify too early, you're screwed. One channel, go aim. This goes for personal development, business, life. I don't care. This is the same thing. One channel, go. Relationships. If you diversify and you're trying to find hundreds of ways to please your partner, You don't focus on one. Focus on one. Tell them you love them. Hug them. Kiss them. Usually those are the ones that make the most impact. Personal development, like I said, you don't need to read hundreds of books. Study one book, front and back, through and through, engraved into your memory. Implement everything from that book into your life, and you'll just see how much one book can actually change your life, not hundreds. Off topic, if you want books that changed my life, it was King, Warrior, Magician, Lover, Robert Moore. Talks about boy psychology, man psychology, the way of the superior man. Mastery by Robert Greene. Interview with the Devil by Napoleon Hill. King by Elliot Hulse. Those are books that really helped me out. Next one, jumping at every opportunity, not following the plan. Like I said, this has a direct correlation with going off my feeling and not thinking. In moments where money was scarce, I would jump at every opportunity just because it was so scarce that I wanted money. The thing that helped me was I said, well, I look back now and I said, well, would 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 really make a difference in my life at that exact moment? The answer was no. It would just change how I feel. It would pull me out of this kind of depressive, scarce mindset and emotional state, and I'd be in a hopeful state. So I just brainwash myself, right? So if I'm in a situation that's not very pleasant, I just say, well, is what I want, like this feeling that I want to jump at, really going to make a significant impact? What about the drawdowns? So I would jump at every opportunity. In terms of business, I had a dude, at my barber opened a barbershop, asked me to build a website, and I saw a great opportunity to see if I could JV with him. I said, hey man, I'll help you market. I'll help you do all this stuff. Like I'll help you run the operations. I got you. And then if I can help you scale this barbershop, how about you give me partial equity and we talk about opening a second location where it's split equity, where we're doing like a dual proprietorship. And I jumped at that opportunity without even thinking about the margins, like at all. Foolish, right? That's why I don't buy into businesses, as you can tell. But I would not follow the plan. I had a plan to make content. I had a plan to study trading. I had a plan that I wanted to see through. But moments where I wasn't seeing any progress, it makes us jump because we're like, dude, we get into a very depressive, desperate state where we're like, we need to see something. Like we got to see some type of gain. We got to see some type of progress, some type of momentum, some type of growth. If we don't, we feel like we're suffocating and dying. If we don't feel like we're growing, we feel like we're dying. Even though we might be growing, if we don't see it, if we don't feel it, we might be dying. And so the best thing for me to do in that moment would have been to just step back and just glance back at how far I've come and realize that I'm playing this game long, not short. And honestly, in those moments where I had no money and I was jumping at every business opportunity, those extra 20, 30, $40,000 really wouldn't have changed my life that much. It would have just helped me be more hopeful. And I realized that I don't enjoy the money in my bank account being responsible for giving me hope. I don't like that. So I decided to shift that from money to myself. I said, well, what else would give me hope? What if I can see this plan that I have through for 5 years, and in 5 years, I get everything I want times 10? Would that give me hope? And just the idea and the image of that in my head is like, yes, that would give me a lot of hope. And so I don't delete that image. I'm like, okay, so moments where money may be scarce, I may not be seeing growth. I may be growing, but I don't see it. I don't feel like I'm growing. I just think to myself, would sticking to this and seeing the results in 5 years times 10, tenfold, give me hope? And the answer is always yes. So that helps me follow the plan. Next one is complaining. Hey man, there's not a lot of people in this world that care, which sucks because we're human. I've never had an intimate relationship that really cared when I complained. And I never complained because I didn't have a solution. Like I had a solution, I just wanted someone to be there for me, to understand me. No one really cares when you complain. Everyone's had a hard life, and at the end of the day, they needed to get through their life simply by sucking it up, screwing, say fuck you to the mood, following the plan, executing. And so, especially when you're talking to a very tough individual, it's very hard for them to empathize, which is really painful, man, because it's not like I don't have a solution. Moments where I would complain, I would just, like, I'm looking for you to be here for me. I feel alone, and it's hard. But anytime I complain, people lost respect for me. My intimate relationships lost respect for me. Even to this day, I haven't found someone that can that knows how to respond to someone complaining, because people are so solution oriented, thinking that we don't have a solution. Sometimes we're looking for a solution. Other times we have a solution. And the last thing we want to hear is, "Bro, suck it up. You got this." Like, I know, man. Like no shit, I got to suck it up. Tell me it's going to be okay. Understand me. Feel for me. I feel alone, you know? But I realized looking back that no one really gives a damn. So just don't complain. Just don't complain. You'll do yourself a favor. You'll save yourself the heartache of when you do feel vulnerable enough to complain or to vent and they reprimand you for it. It may be a lover that reprimands you. It may be someone you care about that just shows that they don't give a fuck. And it's very painful. So if you want to save yourself the heartache and the trouble and you just want to save other people the headache, just don't complain. Next one, trusting people to be like me or expecting. No one's gonna be like you. There's a reason why you're you. They have their different ways of coping. They have their different ways of dealing with problems. They have their different ways of coming to a solution. They have their different ways of navigating through stress, turmoil. They have their different ways of dealing with stress. And I had this terrible expectation that everyone should deal with stress like me, heal their problems like I did, and that really bothered me when they wouldn't do what I would do, which is very self-centered and narcissistic. So when you understand that everyone has their own ways of moving through life, you can empathize for them, so understand them, and you can adjust and tailor yourself to match that. So you guys meet in the middle. I guess I'm speaking more of an intimate relationship standpoint. Your partner isn't going to be a duplicate of you. You guys have different lives, different childhood, you saw different things, felt different emotions. They may heal differently from how you may heal. They may enjoy different things that you don't enjoy. That's why there's compromise. Try to understand why they like it. Don't force them to be like you. Present it. Be like, hey, what do you think about doing this? Like, do you see the benefit in doing it? And then you just say, well, what have you done so far? Because if it's not working, then maybe we should try this. And that's it. And compromise. Be in the middle. If they're like, no, I'm not a fan of it, I'm like, which, well, how about you try it? Just try it. If you're not a fan, hey, I'm here for you. I got you back. Right? So don't expect people to be like you. Just expect them to be like them. Next one, telling people too much. This comes into complaining. I've told some of my intimate relationships too much, man. I've seen that they lost respect for me. I've told some ladies that I really cared about and I thought they cared about me. And I would express myself and I thought that they cared enough to trust me. And I'm learning the hard way that I don't think it's possible for a woman to be in control of her psychology. I just don't. I just don't. They want this vulnerability. They want this from a man. They want this, but they can't. Like it turns them off, and they don't even realize it turns them off. It makes them pull away emotionally. You spike cortisol through their head when you share moments and you're vulnerable and you tell them too much and you share and express yourself. Like they don't want that from you. They want a man that's stable. They want a man that's strong. So be strong. I'm telling you because I finally lived it, and this is coming from someone who try to go against that notion. I'm like, no, there is a woman out here, a good enough woman that can temporarily be the container for moments where when I am stressed, for moments where when I want to express myself. Not be the container for us permanently. That's my job. But temporarily, if I need her to stand, if I need her to be strong, I can express myself and she can do it. I thought until I did it. And I realized it just isn't the case. Why? Because when you're vulnerable, when you express, when you complain, you're doing something that more often than not a woman would do, which is not bad. You are expressing yourself. You're showing that you care. You're venting. When a woman sees you do that, it's beautiful because they acknowledge you have the capacity. So if anything, they feel closer to you because you're allowing them to. But again, if they see too much of that, it turns them off. Emotionally, they disconnect. They think something's wrong with you. They don't trust your masculine energy to guide. They don't trust you to guide. They think of you as a weak peasant. I am only speaking from experience. That's all. So don't tell people too much, which is the next one, getting with the wrong woman. Like, I don't know how to give advice on that, man. I wish I could give advice on that, but getting with the wrong woman will destroy your life. Get with the right woman. Signs that you can look out for. This is the best I can do. Someone that won't judge you. Someone that would sleep under a bridge with you. Go through tough times with you and call it an adventure. Enjoy every moment with you. Not ridicule you, reprimand you for behaving a certain way. Not roll their eyes or get pissed off or get stressed that you are who you are. Encourage you to grow, but accept you for who you currently are as you're growing. Not feeling like the relationship is a burden, but saying, I want to do this for you, for us. Someone that's strong. Not that, if you're a man, not that you need someone to carry you, but sometimes you fall on your knees. You need her to pick up some weight. Find a strong woman, but not too strong, because when she's too strong, she disconnects with her feminine. Like there's no gentleness about her. Find a woman strong enough where she has a direct link to her masculine, where she can stand tall in moments where everything's crumbling. Because you are a human. You are man, yes, but you are a human. So, and I'm just giving advice to my young men. Characteristics to look out for. Try to find a woman that doesn't have too much baggage. The less amount of baggage, the easier the relationship will be. Because then you won't feel like you're compromised. Then you won't feel like you're settling. Then you won't feel like you have to do this. If you think I have to, then you probably shouldn't be doing it. But if you're thinking I want to, then maybe it's a good sign that you should stick it out. Maybe it's just tough. You shouldn't feel like you have to do anything. You should want to. If you're working and you have a child and the child's hungry, do you feel like, oh, I have to cook for my child? No, it's like, I would love to cook for my child. I'll stop my work right now. And that's what love is, right? Love is selfless, love is sacrifice. So if you want to be on the lookout for a good woman, don't just pay attention to how the woman makes you feel. Also, I came to this realization that the woman that we think is special isn't necessarily special. It's our affection for that woman that makes her special. Men, we rarely feel affection or give affection to women. Sadly enough, in this modern world, there's a lot of promiscuity. There's a lot of promiscuous women. And so when we see a promiscuous woman who just doesn't carry herself in a classy manner, we see them as an object. But when we see a woman that's well reserved, kind, caring, we see her as something that we need to protect from predators, right? I'm just giving an insight to a mind of a man. I'm not trying to throw a hit on you ladies. I love you ladies. Like, you guys are so strong. You guys literally endure things that me as a man could never endure. Giving birth, having a cycle, like you guys are so strong. You guys have no idea. Like I respect you guys so much. But I'm just saying, young men, if you want to get with the right woman, understand that a lot of women that you allow into this vulnerable space, you'll feel affection for. Don't focus on the feeling. Focus on who they are. If you go with the feeling, you'll end up getting hurt, and you'll make a really really terrible mistake. So just be on the lookout for that, and remember that she's only special to you, at least, not because she's this divine angel, but it's because when you extend your affection to her, she transforms into a divine angel in your mind, based on your perception. You begin to see all the good, which is great. I'm a fan of that, but you just have to outweigh the pros and the cons. Like if you can identify all the baggage and you can identify all the good, you have to say, am I willing to take all this good for this? Like, am I willing to just take all of this? You have to be very aware, because the woman that you spend the rest of your life with is gonna play a major role in how your life turns out. I would also urge you, gentlemen, to never put a woman before your purpose. And this is coming from someone who has put a woman before his purpose and put his purpose before a woman. This is not saying be selfish, narcissistic, and never care for the woman. No, I'm saying your purpose comes first. Your path in life comes first. Your manhood, your development comes first. She comes second. The children come third. You come last. There's a big difference from putting yourself first and putting your purpose first, right? Totally different. Don't let go of your dream. Don't let go of your purpose. Don't let go of your desire to do something, create, and just leave your mark in this world because you are so affectionate about a woman. I know, gentlemen, we care. We feel deeply. I know. And they deserve the best from us. They deserve us to care. They deserve that love that we can give to them. But don't give it too soon at the expense of your purpose. Because then you'll forget who you are. You'll lose yourself. Next thing you know, the woman won't respect you. They want your attention. I know it's paradoxical. It's just chaotic. This is the mind and the nature of a woman. It's not a bad thing. If the masculine is structured and ordered, the feminine must be chaotic, spontaneous, impulsive. They intertwine harmoniously. Young men, understand that in order to be this masculine force of energy that encompasses the feminine and holds it tight, you have to lock in on something in this world. If you make the feminine the center of your attention, then the feminine will kind of shift your masculine energy everywhere. Please don't put a woman above your purpose. But this is not me saying be narcissistic, self-centered, and never care for your partner. No, I'm saying despite what happens, purpose first. She comes immediately after. That's how much you care about her. That she takes second place, but not above your purpose. And I don't say that for you to be narcissistic. Please understand that I'm simply saying that because I've lost myself putting a woman first. I've lost myself giving my all to a woman. Everything revolved around her. I couldn't even. I'm the type of man that makes a call, but I was so afraid of not being enough that I would have her make the call. Like going to dinner. I'm so afraid of letting her down that I'll be like, here, you choose a restaurant. Even though I'm the type of man that's saying, hey, come here at this time, wear this, we're going here. I was literally so concerned with how she felt that I sacrificed everything, and I lost who I was. Like I lost it. I forgot who I was. And lastly, trusting your chaotic mind. Your mind is chaotic. Don't trust it. Once you organize it, then you can move accordingly to the organization. So, if those are the biggest mistakes I've made in my 20s, this would be the best things I've done in my 20s. I won't go into detail. I'll just give you an overview because this video is like an hour long. 1, creating an obsession with learning. That was the best thing I did. Not being so self-centered and taking things personally. Owning up to my mistakes, having some type of accountability, integrity, saying, okay, this is my fault. I got it. I'll do better. Next one, being authentic despite not being liked. Hey, I don't give a damn what people have to say. If I change myself for other people, who am I? Next one is being able to train hard. Yes, put your body through pain. I'm a fan. Next one, experience moments of silence. Gosh. There's moments where I would just sit outside, let the sun attack me, listen to the birds, and those were some of the most enlightening, insightful moments I've ever had. Next one, being aware enough to center myself in moments where I feel a lot of emotion, where I'm unsure. I am aware enough to return back to baseline and ground myself. Next one, pouring my heart into one thing. I don't regret that. That's the best thing I've done. If I pour my heart into a lot of different things get 2% of my heart. If I pour my heart into one thing, that one thing gets 100% of my heart, and my heart is very powerful. Not caring what others have to say. That goes hand in hand with being authentic. I don't care what people have to say unless I can see that they truly want the best for me. I have an open mind. Like I'm open to being critiqued, but I take a lot of it with a grain of salt. I play it through my head so that I'm not naive, arrogant, but I really don't care about the opinions of people unless they truly want what's best for me. Like if they're just imposing their will, I'll listen. I'll sit. I'll see. Well, what's good, what's bad about it, and if it's bad, I'll just immediately discard, and I really won't give it too much energy or attention. Next one, staying single for a long time. It helped me stay focused. It helped me not have additional stress or worries. But then, we're not meant to be alone, man. We get lonely. I got lonely. Having a woman by my side felt good, knowing that I had a lifelong partner. Or at least, when I date to marry. So having a partner, which at the time showed me that, hey, I'm going to have a lifelong partner. So I guess the balance I had to develop was having a lifelong partner, still staying focused, and not letting that lifelong partner distract me from staying focused, right? But staying single for a long time helped me because I didn't know how to integrate having a partner with my ambition. I didn't know how to integrate that. They both suffered. And so I just chose to stay single because then I get to focus on my career and grow and get stronger. And so staying single for a long time, man. Next one, instead of wanting to be served, creating a desire to serve. That's the best thing I've done. When you want to be served, you're self-centered and you think the world should bow down to you. When you have desire to serve, it shows that you have a humility and that you want to help instead of be helped. The essence of masculinity is service, not to be served. 12, I never regretted loving people. That's the best thing I did, loving people and opening my heart to not be cold and numb and actually showing affection for humans, intimate relationships, partners, and the world. Last one, the best thing I've ever done, ever in my 20s, is trying and developing the ability to keep trying despite failing. There it is. I'm 24 years old. Those are all my mistakes up until now. And I'm sure the list will grow and grow and grow and grow, and I'll have more things to teach you as I keep living. But for now, that's all I got. I love you guys, man. I'm rooting for you. Good luck. Avoid my stupidity, and you'll get a lot farther than me. That's the whole point. I hope you do get farther than me faster. That's why I make these videos. Take care of yourself.